ready?
Yep.
Are you recording now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Tricia Templet. I am a BSN candidate at the Northwestern State University School of Nursing. I'm here today to talk about car seat safety and state laws in Louisiana versus the American Academy of Pediatrics recommendations. Mary Bollock is also presenting on car seat safety as well, and the WAIL program, or the We Have a Little Emergency program for car seat identification and childhood identification in the event of motor vehicle collisions. So you know, I'm very big on education, almost to a fault sometimes. I feel like sometimes I spend a lot of time with our patients here in the ER on safety, sometimes to the annoyance of parents when they say, oh, she's fine, she's fine. But a lot of times what happens, we overlook the obvious and we set these kids up for a potential for injury. And our job as pediatric nurses primarily is to help prevent illness and prevent injury, regardless of the fact that we work in an emergency room or primary care. That part doesn't matter. The main factor is that we need to pay attention to our kids, to the safety, and to what their parents are, what kind of dangers their parents are putting them in. So to touch base on this, we are presenting today on state laws, Louisiana state laws for car seat safety. Up to 1 year of age, Louisiana state law says that a child must be in a rear-facing infant carrier car seat. They have to also be 20 pounds or greater to be in that rear-facing car seat. The American Academy of Pediatrics, however, is now recommending up to age 2, regardless of weight, being in a rear-facing car seat. Now, many parents say, well, the child's legs will hit the back of the seat. That's okay. The child can bend his legs, sit crisscross. However, the child needs to be comfortable. But sitting rear-facing is protecting their neck, their cervical spine from any, injury from any kind of motor vehicle crash. Louisiana state law, in comparison to the 1 to 3 year age range, says that it's okay for a child to be in a forward-facing car seat, whereas the AAP recommends 2 to 8 years, again, regardless of weight, being in forward-facing car seat. In the 4 to 5 age range, a booster seat is okay, according to Louisiana state law. How many times, though, do we even check this? Do we know what our patients are leaving the emergency room in? Do we know if 5 miles down the road they're going to be badly injured in a car crash because they're not appropriately restrained? After 6 to age 12, adult seatbelt is permitted if it fits appropriately. And that's the key right there. Many children between the ages of 6 and 12 don't fit in a car seat appropriately, in the adult seatbelt appropriately. The American Academy of Pediatrics at this point recommends greater than 13 years of age or greater than 4 foot 9 inches tall being in a lap and shoulder belt only, and only in the rear seat position, not in a front seat position in the car. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends for ages 8 to 13 the use of a booster seat with a lap and shoulder belt. How many children do you guys know of that are in a booster seat between those ages? Probably no one, but of course it's very important for their safety. So the next question is, does any state come close? Well, out of the 50 states and 6 U.S. territories, only 11 states specifically mention rear-facing infant carriers. 11. That's, wow, so little. But only 3 states actually specifically state the use of convertible car seats under the age of 3 and booster seats after age 4. Those states are Hawaii, Kansas, and Maine. Louisiana falls far short of the new recommendations for the Academy of Pediatrics. So what can we do? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. That is the age-old adage, and it holds true with car seats. First, we need to ask. We need to ask our parents how they are transporting their children from the emergency room to their home, to their final destination. It's so important. We need to assess this. We need to see what type of child restraint system is in use, and we need to assess whether the infant carriers are being used appropriately. We need to pay attention to those straps to make sure that only 2 fingers can fit between the child and the strap. It should fit like a dog collar. It should fit snugly. These children are carried in these carriers inappropriately. Those handles can snap. And if you're carrying the child inappropriately, what's the chances of those children being restrained inappropriately in a car? We need to make sure that the parents understand where to go if they have questions about how to put in a car seat, who to talk to, and by all means, they also need to register their car seat with the manufacturer to make sure that no defects or recalls have been issued on that car seat. It's very important. Second, we need to educate. We need to educate our parents on the dangers of misuse or lack of use of car seats. These children are projectiles in the event of a motor vehicle collision. They will go through windshields. No emergency is so important that a child does not need to be in a car seat at any point. And if there is an emergency that warrants the child being out of a car seat, the parent should call 911 for transport of that child. And finally, we need to advocate. That's our job as nurses. We need to advocate, advocate, advocate. We need to speak for these littlest patients because we are their protectors. We are their their guardians, so that they can make it to the next milestone. One other thing I'd like to add too is that in terms of the state laws and the American Academy of Pediatrics recommendations, a lot of times parents are too quick to move from the rear-facing position to the forward-facing position because it's all about milestones in those first few years of life. It's about achieving the next milestone, but we have to stress the importance to these parents that that milestone is one that is important to hold back on for the safety and well-being of their children. Now I'd like to turn it over to Mary.